Welcome into the Ravens Rundown, everybody. I am your host, Joey Petersen. So thankful that you guys spent some time hanging out with us today. On the show, we're going to talk about a little bit of great news that the Baltimore Ravens just got from the National Football League. A little bit of a hint. It actually has to do with the 2026 NFL Draft. We'll reveal what that is in just a couple of seconds. Before that, today's poll question, okay? It's going to be the pinned comment down there in the comment section. I want you to get down there and grade the Ravens offseason so far, okay? Give them an A, B, C, D, or F. Everything from free agency to the draft and everything else. Go ahead, get down in the comment section and grade them for me. So the NFL has awarded teams with the 2026 compensatory picks. Now, as of right now, these are just projections of what they will be, but still, regardless, this is fantastic news because Baltimore didn't get just one or two. What is a compensatory pick, though? I hear you asking. So to qualify for compensatory picks, team must end up with more qualifying free agents lost than gained in a particular year. Compensatory picks are not divided up equally among the teams, and no team can receive more than 4 comp picks in a single year. So how many did the Ravens get, and where did they come from? Well, they got 3. They came from Brandon Stephens. They got awarded a 5th-round pick when he went and got signed. Patrick Mekari, they got a 5th-round pick when he went and got signed with the Jaguars. Brandon Stephens went to the New York Jets. And then Josh Jones, they got a 7th-rounder for. They got a 7th-rounder for Josh Jones, a guy who played 25 snaps in the entirety of the 2024 NFL season. That sounds like great news to me. That's 3 extra draft picks, 2 of them in the 5th round. If you know anything about Baltimore, this isn't something new. Let's take a look at the rest of the NFL and how they fared. If you remember this past year, the Ravens had 4 comp picks. Well, this next year, Steelers are going to have 4 themselves, a 3rd-rounder, a 4th, a 5th, and a 6th. You see a ton of other teams with some 3rd-rounders sprinkled in there. Then you go to the 4th-rounders. The Ravens still were awarded, tied for second most with the Niners and the Eagles with 3 total. The Cowboys have 2 5th-rounders. They're a team that is most likely always going to be in there because they don't do much in free agency either. You look at the next kind of set of teams. These are all the 7th-rounders, so still good, still something to be excited about, still something to talk about, but regardless, when you get 2 5ths and 1 7th, that is phenomenal news going into 2026 in that offseason. So by the numbers, if you're looking at the draft right now, they have 9 total picks, 8 of them in the first 5 rounds, 5 of them in the top 150, but you don't have any 6th-round pick because of the Deontay Johnson trade, unfortunately. And look, guys, we've talked about this before, a ton actually, about compensatory draft picks because this is kind of the Baltimore Ravens' MO. They love getting them because they don't really do anything in free agency. And this is exactly why. Okay? I think this is their exact strategy because it has worked so well for them in the past because they are such a great drafting team. They typically hit in the NFL draft, so they don't want to spend big money on free agents that they feel so about, right? They'll do it if a Derrick Henry comes around. They don't hesitate to re-sign their players either. But if it's a guy that they're like, he's fine, I don't want to overpay for him, you know what? Let's just let this guy walk, get the comp pick back. We're probably going to nail that draft pick, and it's going to be a heck of a lot cheaper. Be honest with me in the comment section down below. Do you wish the Ravens did more in free agency? There's times I wish they did. There's times I'm happy that this is kind of their strategy. I want to hear from you guys right now in the comment section by giving me a yes or a no. If you look back at the 2025 NFL Draft, it was a busy one. Like I said, 11 total selections because last year they had 4 compensatory draft picks. Start off with a bang with Malaki Starks, and then you got all the way into the 5th round. You selected Carson Vincent. You had 5 6th-rounders, starting with Bilal Kone, ending with Robert Longerbeam, and then you wrap the entire thing up with an interior offensive lineman out of LSU, Garrett Dellinger. And so when I look back at that draft, right, it just shows me exactly what Baltimore always loves to do. They love going into the draft with a lot of picks and a lot of flexibility. Compensatory picks allow them to do that, okay? Because they go into every draft just like they did in 2025, and they're saying, you know what? We could use all 11 selections, or if we want to, We can move up in the first. We can move up in the second, third, fourth. Having 11 draft picks gives you a ton of room to work with. Think about Minnesota this past year. They had four draft picks. You're kind of hamstrung at that point. You can't make a lot of moves. But when you have 11, you could sit where you are, take 11 selections, add 11 people to the roster, or you could say, you know what? I'm going to use these as currency. I'm going to move around. I'm going to get a little bit more value in my top 3 rounds with, the extra picks I have. So let's look back at 2025. Because you got some compensatory picks from this last year from guys like Patrick Queen, Geno Stone. What those turned into, Jadeveon Clowney as well, was a 4th rounder, a number 136, which you traded back. Then a 5th rounder, which turned into Bilal Kone. And then those last 2 6th rounders, Aeneas Peebles and Robert Longerby. All 3 of those selections I really, really like. The trade back in the 4th round didn't make a lot of sense to me. I don't think it made a lot of sense to you guys either, because you moved back 5 spots from 4th to the 5th just to move up 5 spots in the 6th. Didn't really like that, but still, from those compensatory picks that you got from the 2024 NFL free agency, you turned those into 3 players I'm really, really excited about. And Baltimore's been doing this forever, like we said, okay? If you look at some of their past comp picks, some of the past guys they've selected with those comp picks, Kyle Juszczyk, LaRon McClain, Isaiah Likely, Brandon Stevens, Malik Harrison. So these are guys that have turned into something with this franchise, like Isaiah Likely, especially. Brandon Stevens, even though he didn't have a great that year this past year, he's given you a couple of decent good years in Baltimore. But if you go back even further, and you look a little bit more to the history of how these picks have worked out, there's some that have been phenomenal. I'm talking GOAT status, right? Tom Brady, he was a comp pick. Dak Prescott, 4th rounder for Dallas, he was a comp pick. Mike Vrabel, Hines Ward, Brian Dawkins. These picks can hit. And now you look ahead to 2026, and as of right now, you got 9 total selections, 3 of them being comp picks, 2 of them being in the 5th round. That ought to get you excited, okay? At the end of the day, this is a lesson that we can all use. All good businesses plan ahead. Good sports organizations, they plan ahead as well. The Ravens are always doing that. They have always done it. They will always do it. This is always going to be something that is in the DNA of this franchise. And I get it. Every time March rolls around, you want them to make some moves. I want them to make some moves. I want them to go spend some money. I want them to go bring in some free agents. And they rarely do, which can be frustrating. But this is what's made them so great for so long. They take advantage of these picks. They pick well in the draft. And then they just recycle with younger, cheaper players. And that's why they've been so dominant for as long as they have. I want you to be a scout for me. Name a player that I should keep my eye on for the 2026 NFL draft. Okay? Who is it? If you have somebody you feel really good about, go ahead, let me know in the comment section down below. Coming up, we're going to wrap up the show, funny enough, with a 2026 mock draft. We're talking 2026 picks. PFF already has their mock draft simulator, so we're going to get into it in just a second. Before that, if you guys want to get into something brand new, a Malaki Starks jersey, your newest first-round pick for the Baltimore Ravens. If you guys want to support him, support the Ravens, support the show even, go to chatsports.com/Starks and snag one of those jerseys. You get a look at the front, you get a look at the back, you get a look at both sides. It's clean as it can be. You get a purple, white, black, any color. You want to support them. You want to support us. Chatsports.com/Starks is where you can do it. Let's get him into the top 10 jersey sales for rookies so we can prove to everybody the Ravens fans are the best fans. Alrighty, here's the 2026 NFL mock draft. We're not going to spend too much time into this because I haven't even really looked at a lot of these players, if I'm being 100% honest. I just thought it'd be fun to do it. Cardell Tate, the wide receiver out of Ohio State, I've got a feeling that he's going to be one of the next great things out of the Ohio State. He might be one of the next great Buckeye receivers. They're losing Emeka Egbuka this year. Of course, they've still got Jeremiah Smith, but they also lost Travion Henderson. They also lost Quinshon Judkins. Someone's going to have to step up. I think it's going to be him. Rayshawn Benny, defensive interior lineman out of Michigan. Josh Moten, cornerback out of Marshall. Le'Veon Moss, the running back out of Texas A&M. I really, really like him. I've been really impressed about what he's been able to do these past couple of years. And you saw how much of a hit that Texas A&M offense took when he was out of the lineup with injury. Always good to get some interior offensive linemen from the SEC. Let's add Joshua Braun from Arkansas. John Mateer, quarterback out of Washington State. Jack, am I ridiculous to believe that John Mateer is now with Oklahoma? Like, I'm pretty sure he transferred to Oklahoma. He is. He is at the University of Oklahoma, so PFF is a little bit behind there, but he was their biggest target coming into the portal. I think he's going to be an absolute stud. Damani Jackson, the cornerback out of Alabama. And then Isaac Smith, the safety out of Mississippi State. I absolutely really, really like this player. He hits incredibly hard. He's incredibly aggressive. He's incredibly athletic. And if he falls to you in that 5th-round pick, I'm selecting it. Curious to see how this is going to look next year at this time. I need to remind myself to bring this up so we can see how I did. Before we get out of here, make sure you guys follow me, okay? You can find me on X. You can find me on Instagram. Both of them at Joey Petersen 8. You can see pictures of me and my dog on Instagram. You can see me break down the Ravens, talk a little bit more NFL on my Twitter. Just go ahead and find me there. Hit me up. And as always, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Join us right here on the Ravens Rundown for everyday content of your Baltimore Ravens.